But right before that, what I wanted to do is I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about when you're in that funk, if it happens, if you have that like, oh, this kind of doesn't feel great. It's to kind of just be aware that sometimes the funk happens. I know that sounds weird, but just kind of going, huh, that's that. Because sometimes it feels really good to work on stuff, doesn't it? Like, I'm going to try to find my alignment. I'm going to try to focus on what I love and what I have gratitude for. And I'm going to try to take more effort and energy and go in that direction. And I love all those things. But every once in a while, if you notice that you're having a moment or even like a week, some people are like, woo, sometimes it's been a month or two. But truly, when you're having some spaces of time that you go, that it's just a little tough, or I'm just a little off. My provocation for this week is to be aware of that. And actually, it sounds weird, but kind of do this thing where you intend to, what I call, celebrate the funk. And I think next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a part out of my book that is called that, Celebrate the Funk. And I wanted to give you a teeny piece of this thing called the turkey pan. And for those of you, if you've been here or if you've been around me at all, Louise Hay was a writer and speaker, and I just have huge respect for her. She was so big in the, affirmation field and in the law of attraction, kind of using affirmations to help create your world. And she was also huge in the knowing the power of self-love. And she gave this example that I'm like, oh, it's just really good for me to remember. If you ever have a time when you're working on something and it seems like the exact thing you're working on all of a sudden kind of is crumbling. Here's some examples. Let's say you're working on making more money and you lose your wallet. Or let's say you're working on having really good relationships and you start having weird little arguments with people that you don't normally. Let's say you're working on, feeling lighter and stronger in your body, and then you like get sick, or you end up gaining weight. There are these moments where you go, that doesn't seem fair. I was working consciously on that thing. And then it kind of fell out from under you. And so Louise Hay gave this wonderful metaphor that I've just always remembered. And she talks about the turkey pan. And imagine if you're a turkey eater. I'm a turkey eater. So in Thanksgiving, and just imagine this big foil turkey pan. And think about how when it's done cooking, there's all these crusty, dried on, funky things in the pan. So now let's say you go, I'm really going to clean that up. I'm really working on that. And that thing I'm going to sort of clean up. So then you put like hot soapy water in it. And for a while, the pan looks way better because then it's just cute, white, bubbly soapness and it's nice. But then if you let it hang for a little bit, or maybe if you start like actually scraping, pretty soon it's not like cute and clean and nice looking. It's really funky because all the crusty stuff from the pan starts coming up. And so she talks about when you're working on something, and it could be like working on something, a project at work, or working on some internal thing about you, working on, stepping out in some cool new way. If it feels like, yeah, I got this, things are going well. And then all of a sudden you go, I feel like I crashed into a wall and things are not going so well. I want you in your head and in your heart to go like this. Maybe that's the turkey pan. And even though it looks yucky, what's supposed to be happening is happening. It is getting cleaned. It is taking stuff that's kind of buried in there and it's kind of lifting it up to the surface where it can be, metaphorically. The pan can be cleaned, or we can be healed, or we can take stuff that maybe has been blocking us or keeping us stuck, and it kind of washes out.